to our Public Works meeting on Tuesday, May the 12th. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask the clerk to conduct a roll call.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Bateman. Present. Councillor Kyokyo. Councillor Easton. I see you online, Councillor Easton. Councillor Foster.
Present.
Acting Regional Chair Grant.
Present.
Councillor Height. Councillor Encina.
Present.
Councillor Junkin.
Here.
Councillor Morocco.
Present.
Councillor Olson. Present. Councillor Rigby.
Councilor Rigby.
Councillor Seaborn.
Present.
Councillor Cisco.
Present.
Councillor Sorrento.
Present, clerk.
Councillor Steele. Councillor Ugolini.
Present.
Councillor Villela.
Present.
Councillor Zalepa. I see you online. And we are joined by Councillors Ghanaian, and we have regrets today from Councillors Badaway and Diodati today, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to read the land acknowledgement statement this morning. Niagara region is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Adirondack, the Haudenosaunee, and the Shawnee, including the Mississaugas of the Credits First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The regional municipality of Niagara stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. So are there any disclosure or pecuniary interest from any members of the committee this morning? None noted, Madam Clerk. We'll move on to items for consideration. First item is PW 14-2026, the Combined Sewer Overflows Control Program, 2026 funding recommendations. Is there a mover and seconder for that? How about Councillor Encina and Councillor Height? So are there any questions? We'll just wait a moment here. Okay, thank you. And so we have Councillor Height first.
Yes, in Appendix 1, it looks like there are millions of dollars of work that needs to be done from last year. Is it anticipated for 2026 to complete the 2025 list? I think Appendix 1 talks about outstanding.
Commissioner?
Director Lambert?
Or, sorry, it might not be that one. It might be Appendix 4.
Yes, through the chair. These projects, although they're awarded in a single year, sometimes take a few years to complete, 1 or 2 years by the time they get the consultants and the work accomplished. So as you can see in Appendix 4, there has been a good job of catching up and spending those amounts. So we anticipate the 2025 amount being spent over this year and possibly into next year.
Okay. And on Appendix 1, it looks like there are 6 communities that are applying and have received funding for this year. The other 6 communities, were there applications that are put on hold, or did they not apply to get funding in 2026?
Director?
I'm noticing St. Catharines isn't listed in 2026.
So through the chair, just to the councillor, these were the only municipalities that applied this year. The other 6 did not apply this year for funding.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, noting no other speakers, I'll call the question. Please vote electronically. Motion is carried. Thank you. So moving on to 4.2 PWC-C 8 2026 recommendation for the consideration from the Waste Management Planning Steering Committee meeting held on April the 27th, 2026. Can I have a mover for that? How about Councillor Morocco and Mayor Cisco as seconder? There's it in front of us. Anybody like to speak towards this motion or this direction? Let's check. Oh, Councillor Steele, I see. Councillor Steele?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just through you to staff, I really don't know why this is even coming to us. Is this not just part of what we do here at the region? I don't know why we need permission to get a delegation at AMO. Like this should just come forward. Like we should be making delegations to AMO on a continual basis, or to ministers at AMO. I just don't understand why this would come to us for a vote for permission, quite frankly.
Commissioner?
I've never seen this before.
Through the chair, that's correct. We typically do delegations at AMO. As I understand in talking with the waste management director who was at the steering committee wanted to ensure that this item was raised for consideration for advocacy at AMO this year, and that is the purpose of the recommendation this morning.
Thank you. I mean, this has been an ongoing discussion for how long? I just don't know why. And I understand what they're saying, but this should just be automatic. With all the discussion that's gone around this chamber on our displeasure with the Blue Box program, I mean, this should be one of those things that are at the top of the list, along with our new water sewer plant in Niagara Falls and other issues like that are at the top of our list. I do find this funny that it's coming to us, that it should be at the top of both council and staff's list. Staff should be prioritizing these things so that when we go to AMO, we have these meetings with ministries so we can tell them, quite frankly, what we like and dislike about what's going on with certain funding avenues. So that's all I got to say, but it does baffle me, quite frankly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for those comments, Councillor Ugolini.
In response to Councillor Steele, this wasn't on the radar for AMO for delegations, so the list that had been generated focused on different initiatives, but there's been a change and a window of opportunity to have another look with the province on non-eligible sources. So that's why we wanted to make sure that we delegate on it. We brought it here just so everybody's aware of the importance of it. And Catherine can comment on the opportunity we may have to expand non-eligible sources, or a possibility.
Director Habermill?
Thank you, and through the chair. Yes, that's correct. Councillor Ugolini is correct in terms of currently there's been an amendment through Schedule 20 of the Protect Ontario by Cutting Red Tape Act. And so although this does not restore recycling collection, I think it provides a pathway for future regulatory changes. And so when staff presented this to steering committee, we both agreed that there's an opportunity now to continue the advocacy. I think if I can just expand on what Councillor Ugolini has indicated, is that there's a lot that goes on the agenda for the AMO conference, and I think the committee felt that this was important enough to bring forward to this committee and ensure that this item is on the delegation at AMO.
Thank you. Anything further there, Councillor? Okay, Councillor Bateman, you're next.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick question through you. Do we know the amount of waste that could be recycled but is now going to the landfills?
Director?
Through the chair, I think it's a valid question. I think it's too early right now to understand that. But we are engaging right now and undertaking waste audits, and then we'll continue to do that for the next year, and that data will inform us and maybe be able to answer that question a bit better.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, I've spoken with a lot of nonprofits and small businesses, and many of them have told me that they are not recycling. It's just something that they can't afford to add to their business model right now. So that does concern me. But of course, I'm fully confident that metrics are in place to collect that. Thank you very much.
Okay, noting no other speakers, I will call the question. Please vote electronically. Motion is carried, thank you. So moving on to consent items for information. We'll just, so we have two of them. Does any member wish to vote on any of these consent items separately? Just a quick look. If not, okay, so we'll, I'll, I guess, mover and seconder to put it on the table, Councillor Ugolini, and we'll go with Councillor Olson on consent items. And we'll call the question. Please vote electronically. Okay, it's carried, thank you. So, so before I proceed with other business, I'll first ask Director Lambert to provide an update respecting the province investing $44 million for the water infrastructure. Director Lambert.
Through the chair, I'd just like to highlight that there was a provincial announcement on Thursday afternoon that was held at the Niagara region. It was for the health and safety water stream funding. The Niagara region received $24.5 million for the primary treatment upgrades to the Niagara Falls wastewater treatment plant. There was $10.7 million to renew for Welland to renew the Broadway area sanitary water and storm infrastructure. Fort Erie received $4.5 million to replace an existing water main along Colony Road and Windmill Point Lane. And in St. Catharines, there was $3.8 million for the Martindale Pond Weir Rehabilitation Project. It was acknowledged that investment in water and wastewater infrastructure, the treatment plants, the pumping stations, and pipes is absolutely required to keep our taps running with clean water and to protect the environment and public health with effective wastewater treatment. Investments like this are much needed in infrastructure because they allow our communities to grow and further allow us to maintain the existing infrastructure that we already have. We are all aware of the significant backlog of infrastructure needs in Niagara, with approximately 49% of our wastewater facility assets in poor to very poor condition. We also want to highlight that Minister McCarthy, as well as Mayor Diodati and Campion, made sure to give a shout out and praise to the wastewater municipal workers who operate the system, saying they deserve recognition for keeping everything running smoothly despite the challenging conditions. In addition to the summary below, Council approved a report in March Public Works Committee. It was report PW 12-2026, which transferred approximately $9.7 million from the Wastewater Capital Reserve to fund the region's portion of this project, with the province's funding of $24.5 million. This was immediately required in order to finalize the funding agreement prior to the end of March.
Thank you, Director Lambert, for that wholesome explanation, and definitely we are. I guess we're excited to have that support to help that financial support to move these projects forward. So I'm going to ask if are there any other. Does anybody have any questions on this item first before I call for other business? Councillor Bateman.
Chair, Counselor Steele was first, and I'd love to hear what he has to say, and maybe I don't need to talk.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I see he's got a check mark, not a hand, but, okay, we'll let Counselor Steele. Go ahead, sorry, Counselor Steele.
Well, sorry, I thought you were asking for the adjournment vote. No.
Just relax, we're not there yet, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you. And just kudos and congratulations to our staff for successful applications in this. I know with the project we have going on in Port Colborne for Asai Kase and the upgrades to the wastewater service tunnel under the canal and the expansion of our water, wastewater, and freshwater services to the east side of Port Colborne. These are important projects for Niagara. So just congratulations to everybody that dug deep and did a great application. $44 million is nothing to laugh at. That's a lot of money for the region and serving several projects that are needed. So again, Chair, thanks to staff on this.
Okay, thanks for those kind words. Now to Counselor Bateman.
Thank you, Chair. Does this money goes right, we have it already earmarked, there's no voting, it just goes right to fixing what we have, is that correct?
Director Lambert?
Through the chair, that's correct. This was this was for the primary treatment upgrades at the Niagara Falls wastewater treatment plant. So in March, when this PW 12-2026 was approved, that essentially approved the capital project to proceed.
Okay, Counselor Morocco.
Thank you very much, Chair. Just a question to Phil Lambert in regards to this. We know that the Niagara wastewater treatment plant is really in very poor condition. So how does the money that's been allocated, and we appreciate too, and thankful for any money that we get from the province, but how does this place our Niagara Falls wastewater treatment plant? I know that we've been trying to do Band-Aids. The money that's going there, how, I guess I'm looking for longevity. Where are we looking at for keeping us afloat, say, to the chair?
Okay, Director Lambert, can you can answer that for Councilor Morocco?
Yes, through the chair. Thank you for the question. This was for the primary condition that, again, thank you to Councilor Morocco for being there for the tour that we had at that plant. The other portion that we've identified is the raw sewage pumps and the screening room. That's another key project that we're currently looking at and is under design right now. So that's the next step, our next priority project at that plant that needs to be addressed.
And through the chair, how much would that be?
Through the chair, we're looking at approximately 40 to 50 million. And as we refine our design, we'll have a better understanding of the cost.
Another question through the chair is, do we have any updates on funding from either levels of government for our new Niagara South wastewater treatment plant?
Who would like to? Ms. Sergi?
So through the chair, there has been an announcement associated with funding from both the province and the federal government. There is a stream that's going to become available to municipalities. The province is currently working through the criteria that are required in association with that funding program. Certainly staff are engaged, both at the staff level and to a certain extent at the political level, trying to make sure that whatever criteria are developed are certainly things that are going to be put in place that would assist us in getting funding specifically for South Niagara. So definitely something that we're on top of, something that we do expect an announcement on within the next few months. Not the treatment plant, but the funding program.
Follow up to that question then, if we're looking right now, we've got multiple applications, I think, throughout the region for building, which we have seen piling up on desk and planning departments where no one's really doing too much building. I'm just concerned about the growth and development and how long is this plant going to take once it's approved? But in the meantime, are we actually doing a hold on development in growth in some areas because of the capacity, especially with Niagara Falls. We know the condition that it's in, and it's been made very clear that if we don't keep that up and keep it repaired, you're not going to get your coffee and you're not going to be able to flush it. So I guess my roundabout question is, can we continue to keep developing? And how long is it going to take when the approval of the funding comes from both levels of government before we can actually move forward with future growth and development? Through the chair.
Commissioner?
Through the chair, I'll start to answer that question, Councillor, and then I'll pass it over to Director Lambert. There are some interim measures that are being put in place that Director Lambert and his team have been working with staff at the City of Niagara Falls on. So I'll pass that over to Director Lambert to respond.
Through the chair, thank you for the question. It's really a balance that we're working with the City of Niagara Falls on for monitoring the flows, removal of I&I, inflow and infiltration, the wet weather flows that are affecting the system, and having conditions on development as well. So as the Commissioner has also mentioned, we're looking at interim solutions as well in working with different parties to see how we can move some development forward with a balance on impacts to the environment, overflows, and other potential concerns.
Thank you. Just my last comment is that I think that one of the things that we're concerned about is that we saw the report that came through with about the potential growth and what needs to be put financially into our water and wastewater treatment plants throughout, about the wetlands and the flow that comes off of the lands that are expected, and the storms that we're seeing aren't really predicted. And we're seeing that a lot more these days. So it just raises some other levels of concern, as I think that we really have to be very cognizant about in the development and growth, and what we're allowing to be built and what's not being built, and how much pressure we need to put on both levels of government to make sure this happens, especially if they are expecting to receive funds from probably one of the largest economic engines in the Niagara region right here. So that's my comments. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Foster.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So it's been interesting today with talk about I&I and I think the positive thing that we've done there, and also all the wastewater treatment flow that we've been seeing, and even going to Councillor Morocco's comments. So a question back to, I guess, through to Director Lambert as well. We have had an incredibly wet spring. I mean, you know, we've seen flooding in places in Lincoln that you know, frankly we haven't seen before. We in and around all of Niagara type of thing. So have our systems been able to keep up with this as it's going on? Like, and are there any major concerns from staff in what we have seen so far this year?
Director Lambert.
Through the chair, with the types of rain events that we're seeing now, they seem to be very intense localized storms, whereas the councillor had mentioned you may see flooding and rain in certain areas where you hadn't seen it before. The systems that we currently have, at times when the infrastructure cannot handle all that flow, there are overflows to the environment. So I have seen throughout the year where there has been cases where our pump stations cannot keep up due to the amount of wet weather flow, and there are overflows to the environment that are occurring.
So I guess the secondary part to that is, are there concerns, like have we had discharges that we didn't expect in the last little while? I mean, it seems that we sort of get caught flat-footed after the fact when these things are going on. So I'm just wondering, you know, to help with our case to say these things need to be done, you know, have we seen anything that's surprising, I guess would be the question.
Director.
Through the chair, I wouldn't say that there has been something overly surprising. Unfortunately, we have seen overflows. We continue to see overflows despite our efforts and collaboration with local municipalities to address some of the I&I. We actually do have a website that is live that shows the combined sewer and sanitary sewer overflow locations where we're monitoring. That's tagged on my favorites. I look at that very often. And we've shared that with the local municipalities. So we do report on this on an annual basis to the Ministry of Environment. And the example of the reports that we saw today with the CSO program, that team meets regularly and talks about issues like this, and that's why applications are funded as they move forward.
I guess maybe I'm not being direct enough. So, you know, like over the last number of months, as I said, we've seen some incredible rainfalls that have come into play. So, like, is there concerns that we should be aware of as councillors? Because again, we have been caught not knowing that something has happened and then suddenly it becomes a big issue. So, that's my concern. So
through the chair, the counselor, we'll take that back and take a look at the data that Phil has referenced and to see if there's anything that we want to or should be flagging for council, and we can perhaps report back through a memorandum. You're welcome.
that's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome, Councillor.
Okay, Councillor Olson.
Thank you, Chair. My question is for Director Lambert. When we undertook the budget and the tours and everything, I think we were all impressed by the fact that the state of the condition of the equipment that we were trying to work with. And one of the strategic plans was to increase the maintenance, what I would call it strategic maintenance, to maintain the existing equipment. How is that going? And I have two other questions that follow this one. So.
Through the chair, thank you for the question. I have to say that it's going quite well. We have a very dedicated, focused on improving our maintenance management in water and wastewater. And that's taking a lot of our effort and attention to do that, because we know, based on our situation, we're never going to have enough dollars to be able to replace everything we need to do. So we need to become the best in maintenance.
Thank you. That was, I think that was the strategic intent that we had when we approved the budget. The second part of my question is, what have you done? There was a number of parts of the plants were idle because of breakdown when we went through them in our tours there in the fall. Are they in operation again, or are they the backup for while you do the maintenance? Are you able to maintain them?
Through the chair, we look at priorities of systems and those that require to be immediately addressed. And if we're able to address those, we will. The example of the primaries in Niagara Falls, that wastewater treatment plant, that's a much larger project, about $35 million, where you saw it was out, some of those were out of service and they required a larger capital project. But where we can do more major maintenance pieces to address the system, that's what we're focused on.
And then finally, my last question, Chair, is when we toured Port Dalhousie, there was a large part of that plant was not in operation because of maintenance issues with the belt, or chain, I think it was. Is that been corrected now and back in operation? Is it at least as a backup for the primary source?
Through the chair, I believe you're referring to the chain and flight system that we saw. I understand that those parts are being received and it will be addressed.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. So thanks for the good discussion. So I'm just going to ask committee members if there's anyone else that has any other items of business for this morning. We'll start with Councillor Olson.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Also on Thursday, I believe the commissioner was attending an event to honor engineering projects of some sort. And I was just wondering if we won an award.
Commissioner?
Through the chair, We did not win the award, but our colleagues at the Sea of Niagara won an award for their asset management program that they've stood up. So I was there to witness that, as well as their Director of Public Works was there as well.
And what was the award we were nominated for?
I don't believe we were nominated for any this time around, but our colleagues in Niagara Falls were.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them then, thank you.
Yeah, it was a great honor.
Okay, any other committee members have any other items of business this morning? Okay, I don't see any, so I'm going to say the next meeting will be held on Tuesday, June the 9th, 2026 at 9:30 here in the council chambers, regional headquarters. There being no further business, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Well, that's the quickest, half an hour.